Hey, besties. Let's throw some shade, honey. You ready to get into it? Selena says she don't want no smoke, but she didn't got on this stage and she didn't call So Gucci 5100 BITCHs. And you notice how Carlos never stopped her, but the moment So Gucci called Selena B, he stopped her. Oh, let's not say that. Let's say Belle. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm seeing a little bit of favoritism when it comes to Selena. Hmm. Well, hey, besties, welcome. You are now behind the shade. Thanks for joining me. I recap your favorite reality shows weekly. Now let's kiki and haha and get into another episode. This is Belle Collective season 5. This is the reunion part 1. They gave it a season and an episode. It's season 5, episode 9, and they even titled it Reunited and It Feels ... Good? Question mark. Do we like the title of this episode? No, because it's not an episode. It's a reunion. It's supposed to be called season 5 reunion episode, part 1. Season 5 reunion part 1. That's what it's supposed to be called. How would you rate this week's reunion, the episode? How would you rate it, besties? I have a lot to say. I might need to take my time with this particular video because it's just so many cracks, if you can say. Carlos should definitely give up his chair and let someone else host. I would like to see I know it's Dustin. I was about to say Devin. Dustin Ross. I would love to see him in this chair. Even Funky Dineva, maybe. Child, give Wendy Williams a chance. I know she can't, but Sherry Shepherd, maybe, because there was just so many things that Carlos isn't doing. If he was actually following the blueprint of Andy Cohen, Andy has segments where he reads questions from the viewers, the fans, us, and I think that's missing because those questions be heavy, and I think that's what's missing. Carlos, you up there dropping it like it's hot, pop locking it and dropping it. You whoop wop wop wop, whatever you was doing. Like your suit was cute, you was cute. Yeah, but you wasn't giving. This reunion did not give me what I was looking for. And to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, it can actually get a 6. It can. Drop down in the comments and let me know, besties, what you thought about part 1 of the reunion. Don't forget to like this video. You know the drill. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, please. It's free. And just make sure your notification bell is on. When I come, ding dong, you should answer. And then that way you're notified every time I post my content. Okay, y'all. So the Bells were ready to brawl, just like last season. So Gucci walks out, and Honey Latrice called her so fake. And so Gucci clocked that. I think all the ladies were clocked in and they was ready to bring it. And they did. The ladies wore different shades of blue gowns. Everybody looks like they going to prom. And I'm kind of over it. You see one prom dress, you've seen them all. I don't really have no which one that you like, which one you didn't like. These are, they're all prom dresses. They do what they do. They're long. They have glitter. They have sequins. They have crystals. They have satin. They are what's the other material? Taffeta. I just noticed that a lot of them did blue and the others did gold. But you're gonna have the long, you're gonna have a train, you're gonna have a split up to your hoo-ha, and that's what gowns do. And the purpose, let's talk about the purpose of wearing a gown, not the gown, but let's talk about the purpose. You're on this stage, you're all reuniting. Some of you don't like each other. Some of it is old beef, some of it is new beef. But the reason why you're dressed up is so that you could act like you have some sense, act like a lady, act like a Belle. I'm really disappointed in these women who are from the South, and you can say what you want. I'm saying what I want, my channel, my opinion. You don't have to agree, but you can be respectful if you got a comment. But I'm just saying, like, from my experience with Southerners, they just have an extra. They have manners. They ma'am you to death, sir you to death. Just never have I ever just not like I've never, but of course, with Atlanta Housewives and all that. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just holding the Bell Collector to a higher standard, and I guess just because they are in Mississippi. You can't get no more southern than Mississippi. And they got the twang, they got the accents, and it's just like to see them like Selena just BIT, just calling so Gucci all kind of bees. It's like you and bang that bad and just all the cussing. It's just like, wow, you are not representing the South. So that's what I'm gonna say. But the girls, so far as their looks, everybody out there was going to prom. Makeup was okay. Tambra had on way too much makeup. Casket ready. Broadway. Are you in a play? That was theatrical makeup. It was way too heavy. Tamara, you are so petite and tiny. And just that's the South. You want to do everything big. Your hair is big. I mean, how many packs of hair did you have in there? Golly. How many wigs was in there, girl? Your wig had a wig. But your makeup was very heavy. You don't need it. All the women are pretty. I appreciated that. So Gucci didn't have on a lot of makeup. Marie's makeup is always simple. Her makeup is always best, like nice. It's never too much, never a little. It's just enough. It's nice. She don't, experiment with too many different colors. She gonna give you that red lip, and she's just cute, right? Letitia, she is cute. She goes up and down with her makeup. We gotta work on Letitia's look. We gotta work on Miss Ma'am. We got to. It's season 5, Letitia. What's going on, honey? We're gonna get to that later about the surgeries. Akeisha, really pretty. Hair was good. Just her makeup was cute. She did extra, but that was enough. It was cute. Who else? Latrice is always just simple, cute. Her makeup is just enough, never over. For the most part, they do enough. You can still see what they look like. But I did see Marie before her makeup, and I was like, oh, okay. Not ugly, but oh, okay. But yeah, the makeup was okay. Everybody's hair was cool. We just got to really work on that. Letitia, you got work to do. Can you please bring it next season? Girl, we're going to get to that. Okay, so Keisha and her collective correction, they addressed that first because that's how the season started. Letitia says she's unauthentic because she ain't heard from Akeisha in 7 months. Then when they getting ready to film, then Akeisha says she got Letitia and Latrice back on good terms. She's the reason why they back cool. But baby, Latrice told us she was going to take it slow with Letitia because she still didn't trust her. But she said they had to get on good terms so they could come against Akeisha. And that's what they did in the end. Okay. Akeisha tells Latrice that she can't believe she let Letitia manipulate her and all that. So, they have a little back and forth and back again. Latrice put it back on her. She said, you did some hood beep stuff that I didn't think you would be doing. And so Latrice called Akeisha fake. Now let's pause. What is she talking about? See what I'm saying? We need a host to sit here and go, wait, stop. What do you mean by that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Because if you don't know, you don't know. So what is Latrice talking about? Is it is she referring to how she got down at the Taste grand opening? Is that what she's talking about? How all that got out of hand? Or if you know, then you know after the grand opening. I believe this was after the grand opening. Akeisha had her Akeisha had his cell phone and they did a tracker on it. It was at Akeisha's house, and Akeisha didn't want to give the guy his phone. And then a couple of days later, RIP to him, he passed away. And it was Latrice's cousin. So it's kind of like, we needed somebody that picks up on stuff like a woman. And you would think a gay man would be able to pick up on everything, but I mean, that could have been a question. Okay, so Akeisha was on some hood stuff, stealing phones and everything. Akeisha says she's the only one here that keeps it real. She wears her real hair, and sometimes she would get on this camera with no makeup on. And so Letitia, like, wait, we talking about the outside? She said, what about your heart? And Akeisha's like, I'm genuine. My heart is good. I'm genuine. So Gucci says Akeisha delivery may be confusing to the ladies, but that's not her experience with Akeisha. They bosom buddies. They are close, right? Akeisha says, so Gucci is not intimidated by her confidence. That's why they get along. But these other heifers, they jealous. They hating on her. So then Los gonna whisper and tell Akeisha as he's laughing. He was like, girl, you can't say intimidated and confidence and expect them to understand you. What? So in this moment, Carlos, did you just ask her to dumb herself down? Are you asking her to not she can't believe what she thinks? She's not entitled to how she feels? Is that what you're saying? Like, Carlos, that's why she got her get back. That's probably why she did what she did. We'll get to that if you don't know. I guess I'll just go ahead and say it because it's been over a week. Well, Akeisha quit the show on Carlos King's live Messy Mondays or Mr. Monday nights or whatever. The last show, he was saying how everybody got their letters for next season to come back and everything was all Gucci. And yeah. So actually he was interviewing Willie. And then Akeisha was there and she came on to say hi. He actually wanted her to get on the camera. So she was like, yeah, I got the letter. And Carlos, so proud of you. Thank you. But unfortunately, the colognes will not be returning next season. Honey, Carlos King, he froze, mouth open. No, he was smiling because he was smiling about, the news of renewing the new season and all that. Honey, he froze. He just sat there. And so Jazz, she's an executive producer. She was at the bottom of the screen because he was on there with Jazz, and Dustin. Jazz, her mouth is open and she closed it. She opened it again and she's like, wow. You hear her say, wow. And Dustin is kind of keeping a poker face, but honey, Carlos was like, girl, you thought your TV or your phone froze. Carlos was just stuck for like a minute, a whole like entire real life minute. So yeah. So he gonna call her out. Yeah, okay then, Carlos. So Lowe's asked Akeisha, was her feelings hurt when she saw that Latrice and Letitia was talking about getting her out of the collective? And I just wish he would have reworded the sentence, the question, better. Like, was her feelings hurt? No, you should have asked, how did she feel when she got wind of what they said? Not where's her feelings hurt. You should have asked, how did she feel to make her talk about it? But all she had to do was say no, and you moved on. That's why this reunion was just so lackluster. It's like nothing went too deep, So anyway, so she says no. And so she said, they lie. He said, you didn't feel no kind of way. She was like, it's Letitia and Latrice. What they gonna do is they gonna lie. They gonna go behind your back and woo wah wah wah. Then we move on over to Marie and talk about her family hating on her, the cousins, and her getting her doctorate degree. Congratulations, Marie Monroe. And she said she had no idea her cousins felt the way they felt about her because she'd been supporting them all along. And because she's the successful one, she feels like she can't tell them no. And yes, they do feel entitled to her money. And it just brought me to a thought my dad told me. He's told me, baby girl, he said, the more you do for someone, the more they'll grow to hate you. The more you do for someone, the more they'll grow to hate you because they become jealous because you be doing too much and you're making them feel low and little. Sit on that. Tell me what you think about that. And so Lo said, everyone on the stage is successful. Like, yeah, everybody. Does anybody else family act like that? So Gucci kind of like cleared her throat about that everyone on the stage is successful. So they're like, why you do that? Now, see, he gonna ask about a little cough. You know what I'm saying? But he don't ask no other questions. I'm starting to see Carlos in a new light that I don't like. But I digress. So Selena says, who you talking about? Yeah, who you talking about? Well, duh, gotta be you. Because hit dogs do bark. And she threw something and hit you and you caught it. And so she says she don't care. Of course you don't. I mean, when you first got on this season, they said you had 800 jobs, like you a Jamaican, you a jack of all trades, and you hustling, you know how to make a dollar. You got kids and you know how to make a dollar. So back to Marie. So she still doesn't know who targeted her house because you remember two people came by. Thank God nobody was home and they pow-powed her house. And I just find that very hard to believe, Miss Marie, that you don't know who could have done that. I mean, your mother is in the streets. You got 4 kids, 3 boys. Are they all like just nerds or doing great? Ain't nobody got a foot in the streets. Don't nobody mess with some bad seeds. Honey, could it have been your cousins? Retaliate? Like, come on, Marie. You have an intuition. You live with these people. You are related to your family. You are related to your family. Your mother, your kids, you come on now. What has God set on your heart to say what happened? So she said the police are still investigating, but Marie, come on. You know what happened. You're just not going to tell us. And that's fine. But remember, baby, you're in a reality show. Could it have been? All I'm going to say is it wasn't an accident. They came for who they was coming for, honey. Trust and believe, because they said you live in a gated community. Boo bop 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 bop. So on to Marie's enhancements, because the people been talking. They think she has had her nose done. Latrice, in particular, thinks she has had her nose done and a BBL. And this is 2024. Why are we still lying about getting work done? So anyway, Latrice over there touching her nose like, yes, girl, you have had that nose done. And Letitia thinks she's had a BBL. And I mean, let's go back. It makes you want to go back to season 1 and season 2 to see what her butt was looking like. Like, girl, you ain't gonna play with everybody, and it's so common to get a butt. Somebody just told me last week they was getting ready to get one. I mean, goodness. So she says she don't have no BBL. And so Letitia want to see her with no clothes on. So does Latrice. And she said, well, I'll tell you about the nose. So apparently her lupus has caused inflammation in her face, and it makes her cheeks bigger, her nose bigger. And so she doesn't have that anymore. And I'm not sure, does she mean she don't have lupus anymore? Is it like in remission, or anyway, she don't have the inflammation anymore, I'm sure, because you can't get rid of lupus. So I guess she got rid of the inflammation, and so she had reconstructive surgery to build up her jawbone. So maybe that's why her nose looks smaller because her jaws are wider. So she said it was a medical necessity. So Carlos looks at Latrice and said, "Do you want to apologize to Marie?" And she said, "Ain't no, nope." But they do want to see her without any clothes on because they want to see. And Marie said, if you could see with me with no clothes on, you would say, "Oh yeah, you don't have one of those." And I'm like, why? What does the real butt look like? Is it because it's lumpy? You got stretch marks? What would a BBL look like versus a natural butt without clothes on? Because I know we always measure the ratio between the thigh meat and the butt. Clearly, she meets that criteria. But what is it? Is it like flabby? Do you wear a type of underwear that pulls it up? What is happening? Does it drop down to the floor? What goes on with your butt, Marie? And it just sounds like lies. Like, just say, yes, I got one. And I think I am going to go back to season 1 to compare her butt. And I hate to be looking, but I just want to see, like, why are we lying about that? I ain't going to do that, y'all. I'm just going to assume she's lying. So we, Essie. So we hear about Essie. So Essie has been going back and forth to Alabama doing testing for her lung transplant. So we send good vibes and prayers out to Essie. Then Los welcomes Selena. The Bells are her girls except for So Gucci. And maybe and sometimes Akeisha, but that's because she's probably close to So Gucci and JJ. So Selena says she's So Gucci's storyline. Excuse us? What? And she's the reason that So Gucci and JJ is on the show. Oh, child. She was like, yes. So of course they going back and forth and back again. Selena says she put in a good word with Latrice for JJ. Because that's her. Why? Because that's my children's father. So Gucci says, you just want to fight. So Gucci said, so Gucci said, you just wanted the position. You wanted this position. And so Selena said, well, I wasn't ready yet. My son passed away. And then she cussing at her too. And it's like, pause. Like, pause. Like, pause. First of all, So Gucci, you knew that. So why did you even kind of touch bases to get to that? Carlos, why didn't you ask, could we have dived more into the son? Could we have, even if she didn't want to say nothing, she could have said she didn't, but you could have went in and asked about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, did we know she had a son? I mean, we heard of it earlier, but we didn't, like, we always assumed it was just the 3 girls. So could we have known more about your son? That could have been a little segment for her. And that. But no, she cussing So Gucci out. So Gucci told her, calm down, calm down. And no one, but I don't like is when something like that happens, nobody says anything. Because this happened before. It was with Andy on Bravo, where something tragic they talked about it, and everybody was just sitting there, didn't say, like, nobody said anything. Like, say something. Like, oh my gosh, let's not bring that up or something. Anyway, so Los asked Latrice, like, did Selena give you the go ahead to suggest So Gucci and JJ for the show? And so she said, what we do here is we call around because I knew that was JJ's ex. I knew they was married. And Selena told me that they was good people. Like, yeah, they'd be good for the show. Cool. So in essence, she did put y'all on. And you need to thank her, So Gucci. Just kidding. So Gucci said Latrice be lying. And we ain't going down that road. And Latrice is like, let's go down that road. What I be lying about? What I got to lie to you about? What are you talking about? So Gucci asked Selena, why would she even recommend him? Like I said, that's my child's father, girl. If he eat, I eat. What you talking about? I ain't no hater. She didn't say that if I eat, I'm paraphrasing. And so she said, I ain't no hater like you and him. I said, Lord, 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 Lord. So Tamara asks, no, Tamara says like she never knew they had beef because they come to her events, they come to Latrice's events, and they have never said anything bad about each other. Like it was just not even known. Los asked Selena what was her and JJ's relationship like before Belle Collective. And she said, I tried to be cordial with him because of the kids. And so Los said, what about today? And I'm saying Los as in Carlos King. And so she said, we don't have a relationship. And it's like, okay, so JJ is difficult. It ain't nothing new. So was he putting, I don't know, get into that. So JJ seems difficult because, she slept with she slept with Cliff. Do we remember that? So maybe he's harboring some, clearly they were younger and their breakup was probably off the chain with the lying and cheating. They probably had a terrible breakup and it probably included other people and cheating and on both sides, but they never said nothing about that child. They didn't bring that up. So people only gonna be how they feel. JJ was probably disappointed. He when you get married, you want to marry for life. So things fall apart. Sure, JJ has a reason. He has a right to feel how he feels, but how he's treating this and this at this age is a little ridiculous. But we don't know everything. So we just seeing these people for a few minutes 10 years later because clearly Gucci and JJ been married about 10 years. So we only seeing a glimpse. But you have got to know because Selena ain't no little nice little flower. All right, I could tell she a hot firecracker. She probably was, she wasn't no walk in the park, I'm sure. Neither was he. So anyway, she tried to be cordial for the kids. Okay, good. As you should be. Today, there's no relationship. Carlos, you know that already. He ain't even fooling with his own daughters. You think he talking to Selena, but not the kids? Like he just anyway. so so Gucci was calling her B back, a BITC beep. Close. This is what Lo said. Let's say Belle instead. But so Gucci said, okay, Jezebel. So then Selena called so Gucci stale Belle. And then she gonna call her a sour Belle. And it's like, oh, how do we forget the dirt that we did? Because she was saying, oh, so Gucci, don't act like that the word on the street about you ain't woo woo woo. But it's like, girl, it's words on the street about you too, Selena. And I know you don't live there anymore, but don't act like you didn't live there. Carry yourself a little better. Stop pointing your finger when you know there's dirt out there about you, honey, and your dirt might be coming back on you. They probably gonna bring it up, but I didn't forget that you slept with Cliff and you friends with Child. So Carlos asked, how are the girls' relationship with JJ? Star, one of the girls, I think that's the daughter who got the kids. She still comes around on Sundays. They're working on their relationship. Sky just started coming back into the fold and trying to work on their relationship. And the youngest one is Sanjay. She's over it. She ain't got time to do. Y'all deal with him. I'm done. So she said, do you talk bad about JJ to them? And she said, well, no, I didn't, but now I do because he acted up. And she said, I try to shed some light on their situation. So yes, I do now. And so they were like, well, does he talk bad about you? And she's like, yes, he talks bad about me. Of course he does. So, because she slept with Cliff. No, and she said, the whole situation is terrible because they always have to call him and make amends. He never calls them. They always got to make the first move. And so they're like, so Los is like, well, tell us about, your new man, Mike. They're engaged. And so the question is, how different is he from JJ? And she said, well, he's not a liar. He don't cheat on me. He's a gentleman. I was like, wow. And they've been engaged 2 years. Like, when is the wedding? We might get married next year. And so Carlos was like, yeah, because he's a good man. Huh? So where did he get his W-2s from? And child, so Gucci gonna say the illegal, oh goodness, the dealers that sell things, rhymes with thugs. So she said it starts with a D. So she said that word, and then she said that and thugs. So it rhymed. So illegal substance and thugs. So clearly he used to be a dealer. So, honey, now Mike was a truck driver. So he sold all his trucks and he opened up a roadside service business. So that's what he does. And, is everyone invited? Carl's gonna always ask who's invited to the wedding. She was like, everyone pretty much except for So Gucci and Akeisha. And Akeisha looking like, what did I do to you? But it's like guilty by association. You are So Gucci's good girlfriend. So Akeisha says she don't care, but they still cool. She like, we good, girl. We still good. So next, So Gucci is now taking action with her kids. I didn't know D. Her real name is D Amber. D Amber. Come on, Sophia. D Amber. Her daughter Ari. She has a son named Mikhail and his girl. I don't know if that means his girlfriend or his daughter. It must mean a girlfriend, but anyway. So she's focused on her kids. So Gucci, it, so then Carlos was like, so we investigation want to know what's your real name. What? We already know her name is Sophia Shantae Williams. We all know that JJ called her So Gucci, and that's what we call her. But we know her name is Sophia Shantae. So he got to break that down. She's like, yep, Shantae is my middle name. Yes. So Selena gonna say, well, she was never Gucci to me. Well, she ain't supposed to be. Your ex-husband named her that. She ain't trying to be Gucci to you. Calm down. She ain't nothing to me. She's a terrible stepmother. Girl, a terrible stepmother. No, her kids was beg to differ. They would say she was a terrible mother, but a great stepmother because that girl was doing everything, bending over backwards to get JJ. And I don't know why. Like, why was she doing that? Daddy issues? Huh. So, and I do know the stepdaughters, they call her Shantae. So Marie tells So Gucci, to listen to her daughter because they're trying to figure out, they're asking the doctor on how to deal with the mental illnesses and everything. So she's just like, Marie is shining light. So, listen to your daughter, healing takes time and go to therapy. And then they talk about, so Gucci talks about how her dad was against therapy. The OGs, they don't believe in psychiatrists, is what they used to say. That's what we called them. So they don't believe in all that. So so Gucci is trying to break that generational curse. So her daughter feels like she focuses more on JJ than her. And so Selena over there just shaking her head. I was like, stop being judgy, because didn't they say you came up missing? That's why So Gucci was taking care of your daughters, because you was somewhere missing. I know. She did a video, she did an interview, and she said, whatever. Anyway, we don't care. We just looking at the TV show, whatever. Everybody lying. So Gucci's thing was, and I didn't know this, she thought because her kids were grown, let's just say over 18, she thought it was okay to just run after JJ. But then she realized later that her kids still needed her, even if they were grown. And yes, So Gucci, your kids need you all the time. You're never not needed, sweetie beatie. Okay. So, so with that, Los was asking, can you give Selena some grace? And so Gucci's like, I don't want no smoke. And so Selena like, I can't tell, because the moment I got on this stage, you was throwing digs at me. She said that a few times. Okay. Well, y'all all came here to battle. That's what the reunion is for. They know you're going to get up here and get to switching and flipping. And what happened between So Gucci and Selena? Because from what I remember, they were okay. They were fine. So we'll get into that. So Gucci says Selena is the cause of how the girls act. Baby, it ain't on me, it's on you. So Selena says, no, it's how you treated them who is the cause. I say, well, that was a good little comeback there, Selena. So Los says, well, the issue between them is JJ because he tries to keep them apart. And so Gucci says, like, she was so focused on JJ and she feels like she should have been introduced to Selena earlier in the relationship. And she should have cared to meet Selena because she was around her kids a lot. And Selena says she agreed. This was the one time they agreed. See, they ain't really got no smoke for each other. They up here performing for the reunion, I think. Because they're not really saying much of nothing. Because you call me 50-1100 BITCs, I would have been on top of Selena. Pat, pat, pat. We'd have had a whole nother little situation. Court order, no court order. We'd be back in court with a new case, honey. Keep calling me out my name on these people platform. Okay. So the question was, how do you feel sharing the stage with her now? And so it's always, I don't care because, oh, here goes So Gucci. I don't care. And she could have just stopped. But no. She says, because she beneath me. Girl, what? She's beneath you. There you go. What did I just say? I just contradicted myself. So Gucci, I be trying to have your back, but you are on your own for the rest of this show, the rest of these reunions, whatever you say. I'm just going to go, So clearly you do want smoke and you do want to fight. So you just here because you need the check. So, with some more back and forth and back again. So, honey, when So Gucci told Selena, girl, my shoes cost more than your house. Child, I fell out. Because, baby, remember that house? Remember Selena's house? Selena, you need to be humble. You need to be real quiet. And you need to walk on eggshells coming out that little piece of house you got. And I understand rent is high. We trying to make it. But if Selena's house don't give me, someone converted their garage into a little cottage, and that's where she living, baby. They said that day bed in your living room is still the day bed that you had back when you was on Bring It. Girl, we was over there at her house. I had to duck my head down so my head wouldn't hit the roof, her roof. I was like, girl, aren't you too tall to be in that house? She can't put no heels on in that house. I know she carried her heels to the car because, baby, that roof is short. That place is little. That little piece of place is little. Come on now, Selena. Yeah, you need to be quiet. And why you can't get nothing better in Mississippi? Okay, I'm gonna mind my business. So Selena says, girl, you can't even walk in my shadow. What? Girl. So you know where that comes from. I think that stems from I'm his first wife, you're his second. Okay, she can't walk in your shadow. Can't nobody walk behind you in that little piece of house, girl, please. You and Mike was in there. He was sweating because he couldn't breathe. Girl, if you don't open that front door, get some air, child. Okay, I'm sorry. I mean, somebody had to say it. Okay, so she's saying that, because she's the first wife. She got privilege, honey. You got my sloppy seconds. You got my leftovers. And she gonna say, y'all act like y'all so rich, like you own a private jet or something, like you own a yacht. And I said, oh, she said that because they pulled up in that old Chrysler. And Latrice's Goddess Lens grand opening 2.0, they pulled up and said, y'all act like y'all rich. And so, child, who said, oh, the miserable people are the ones who do all the comparing. And there's no comparison. I think that was Selena that said that. So she's trying to say, so Gucci is miserable. Child, if you don't knock it off, girl, you the one chasing behind your ex and his wife. Yeah, you the one got to hear all that drama between your kids and him. So I don't know who really could be miserable. Cause I know you and Mike be in there trying to, do your thing, and it ain't no room. I bet you they gotta situate and change, rearrange the furniture to make Whoopi in that little garage converted into a cottage. Okay, no comparison there. And so Gucci got that big old house with a pool. Girl, bye. So Gucci, don't even say nothing else to this woman. Like, you ain't even gotta say nothing. You really don't. So Lena says, so Gucci is bothered since Latrice's event, and she has been bothered by her, gonna be bothered, and won't stop being bothered. And so so Gucci said, you got nothing. You got nothing. You over there working for Latrice, being a bartender, because you this age, your kids grown, and you still hustling and bustling, got 18 jobs, Jamaican. Go sit down. No, don't sit down. Anyway, I'm gonna go move forward. So here go Carlos. So without JJ, it's always the gay man coming for the straight man, because I could not stand how it seemed like Carlos be coming for these straight people's marriages. Like, stay in your lane, dude. You and your African just broke up not too long ago. So he really just Carlos. I'm starting to see what everybody else been saying about him, and it's not pretty. But so he's telling them, well, without JJ, you guys seem to have common ground with each other. Like, so Selena doesn't know. So Gucci came on stage. No, what if Selena doesn't know? Seem like y'all have common ground stuff. Okay, so Gucci came on. So Selena tells her, like, so Gucci came on stage acting like a child. Like, I'm trying to be cool with her, but she acting like a kid. Lowe's tells So Gucci that she's doing the right thing by working it out with Selena. And I don't know if I agree with that. And so he says, from what I could tell, it seems like JJ chastised you, for trying to trying to squash things with her. And so, so Gucci is pretty much like, she's not denying it, she's listening. And I don't like that for her, because it's like, girl, stand up for your man. And she might get chastised again, because why didn't you stand up for your man? Well, hold on, JJ, before you get upset. Carlos is the check signer. She gonna be quiet to get that check. So so Carlos' thing is he preventing y'all from moving on? Like, so Tamara said Selena told her that JJ might be afraid of them getting close and sharing information, because then there might be some lies, some of JJ's lies might come up. And of course, it might be, that's what happens when you date someone who's still legally married. There's going to be some lap over and some overlapping sometimes. You was cheating, he was cheating. There's going to be some of that. And it doesn't make a difference. They're married now. You think so good? I don't know. So Gucci may not know. She might know. It's a small town, I'm believing. Ain't they said Jackson was? I don't know. But anyway, so okay, and if they do share, that girl love her husband. They love each other. They have grown. They've been together. They gonna stick together. So there go Los getting in married people business again. I can't stand that for him. Telling her about her husband and what it looks like to him and blah, blah, blah. And then he gonna top it up. Well, JJ's not a bad person. I just wanted you and Selena to have a resolution. Yeah, you wanted some mess. But the common thing you're doing wrong, Carlos, is this is a 3-party situation. You trying to get So Gucci and Selena to be friends. That's not how it is going to go, and you are out of order. So Gucci is married to JJ. That is her man. They are one. The equation will be JJ, So Gucci, and Selena. It can never be So Gucci and Selena. And that's where you doing wrong, buddy. You disrespecting the marriage. You're trying to tear it up, in my opinion. I see it. And so, yeah. And that's why you're over there broken up with, well, whatever. We ain't gonna get into that. So lastly, they discussed So Gucci's mental health fair for the, African American people. And so Carlos asked Marie, what can we do? And so she said, check on your mind, like your health, like your body, like your anxiety, your depression, postpartum, all of that is mental illness, not like illness, but just things that it has to do with mental health, I'll call it. And so, when you're doing all this, go to therapy, check on your strong friends. And so Tamara says, when she gave birth, she went straight to ICU. So of course she had developed postpartum because her and her baby were separated. They were separated. And so she said, no one really checked on me. You guys were asking me about the baby, but not me. So Letitia and her are mending their stuff, but she said, but some stuff, was swept under the rug. So Letitia said, girl, Tamara, you just unblocked me. And it's like, there you go. Not protecting or defending or supporting your friend. And so, Tambra, you need to block Letitia again. Block her until that girl can get her BBL done right. Block her until she could wear the proper undergarments under her dresses. Block her until she could get the correct color of her wig. Block her. Actually, can you help her? No, why you got her unblocked? Can you help her with her look? Letitia, you are a beautiful woman, but you need to learn how to put your clothes on, honey. And you need to stop trying every color wig. The blonde, I just don't like that for you. I just don't like it for you. Okay? And I know what I'm talking about. Because if you know, you know. So, back to Tambra. She's doing much better with her mental health with the postpartum. Oh, and I didn't even mention Damon. He has 2 jobs now. That's why he doesn't come around, because having a baby is expensive. So, child, here go Carlos introducing Antoinette, child. She comes to the stage, says that there were some things that needed to be cleared up with her from season 1's reunion about Glenn, and oh my God, why were you holding on to what Letitia said? And she said, because it wasn't true. Well, were you flirting with Glenn? And then, child, Letitia, don't you talk about Glendale, honey. You see how Letitia supports and defends her husband, so Gucci? You got to come with some of that too, even with your boss, okay? Were you flirting with Glenn? Back and forth and back between Letitia and Antoinette. Oh my gosh. Were you on the couch because you need a check, honey? Because Mint Dental is no longer there. You're not even practicing. Child. And Antoinette didn't even defend that. So clearly she was telling the truth. Antoinette says Letitia is your friend behind closed doors. And when those cameras get to rolling, she digs and digs and digs and then wants to say, oh, what happened? And baby, that was the end of the part 1, season 5 Belle Collective reunion. I'll be back with another recap. Bye, bestie.